Hey everyone, Kevin here, and what I've got here are two Easy Flash 4 cartridges. These cartridges will allow you to play as many games as you want really on a Game Boy Advance. You can put on lots of classic Game Boy Advance games on any Game Boy Advance system, the Micro, the SP, the original, and you can also play it with the Nintendo DS, and this one works with the DS Lite. So you can put on the whole game catalogue, the whole games catalogue of the Game Boy Advance onto one cartridge. Now, I have reviewed this before and I've showed you how to install it and use it, etc. This is the new one. So this is the Easy Flash 4. This is called the Easy Flash 4 Reform. It's just out. They kindly sent it to me. And this is who sent it. It was Tom at Levitech Retail. You can see them on eBay here, and you can see the price, £20.99. Buy one, get one at 5% off. It's a bargain. So many thanks to them for sending me this. I really do appreciate it. But I've actually had correspondence with those guys before, because when I bought this a few years ago, it was from Levitech Retail, and the original one that they sent me, this one, didn't work, and they sent out a replacement within days. I was really happy with the customer service, and I'm really pleased that they sent me another one out. This will be my fourth one actually, because I bought another one as a gift for my brother. So I do have a lot of experience with this, and one thing I really like about all of their sales is they always throw in all these accessories. They throw in sweets, they throw in cartridge boxes, etc., little holders for your carts. So yeah, very happy with them. So it's very good to see that they have been developing this even further. I spoke to them about this, and they said that there were a lot of problems with the Easy Flash 4, and they have been working with the developers in China to make this better. And I have been playing around with it, I have been testing it, and in my opinion they have addressed most of the problems from the original Easy Flash 4. The two main things that they've addressed is, one is you don't need software anymore to flash your games, and the other thing is the battery. There now is a replaceable battery in there. Now they have made some other improvements, and I'll show you that just now. So this is it here, Nintendo Game Boy Advance Easy Flash 4 Reform, and you can see all the stats here. I won't go through them all, but you can see the PS RAM, NOR flash, the loader, SRAM, supports 2GB to 32GB, and it comes with this new little changeable case that allows you to use it with the DS Lite. That is something that couldn't be done with the original. So what's that referring to? Well, it's the fact that when you turn these over, you can see the original here, like that. You can see this one, the components are only going up to there, which is how it can fit everything into this smaller form factor, which is good if you have a Nintendo DS Lite or a Nintendo DS, so it doesn't stick out. So cosmetically, when you look at them, there isn't a huge amount. I mean, the actual carts look the same, but this one you can see has got the sticker Easy Flash 4 on it. This one is just kind of printed onto the cart itself. Another thing I noticed is that before, if you hear this, it kind of clicks in and out. I've got a 32GB card in there, which is complete overkill because it only takes about 8GB or so. And in this one I've got 16, but in this one you can't click it. You kind of need to get in. It's a little bit harder. So you have to get your finger in and do that. I found that a little bit annoying. So I don't know why they did that. Maybe it's from a... Can I get this? Can I get this out? There we go. This one's a 16GB card. I don't know why they have removed it so that it doesn't click. Might be because before, sometimes you would actually... there was a risk of missing it when you pushed it down and clicked it. And now there isn't that risk. But it was never really a major problem, because once it was in, you just kept it in, and you could always just open it up and take it out anyway if there was any problems. But with this one, you don't get that clicking mechanism. It just kind of goes in and then it stops. So that's something to bear in mind. So if I bring it back up just now, as I said, Levitech Retail always throw in some goodies. They always throw in some Haribo. We've got a holder for the cart. We've got a Pokemon keyring, and we've got a microSD card USB reader. Now the reason is because if you lose this, then you can put your microSD card into this and just plug it USB into your computer. So might seem like little things, but little touches. It's nice that they do that, you know, throw in some accessories and the keyring and the Haribo. Now, before I show you this in action, I want to show you the actual cart itself. Very easy to take out, and I'm not cutting. I'm going to show you this live so you can see how easy this is. And there we go. Now I've taken the older Easy Flash 4 that I had and I've opened it up. Here's one I prepared earlier. So this is the original Easy Flash 4. This is the Easy Flash 4 Reform. And if I jump back to the browser on the official website for Easy Flash, there's a FAQ and it does say that battery is drained to dry. Change the CR1220 battery. And if any of you guys know, this is one of the most common kind of watch style batteries in the world. Very cheap. You can see there's 5 for £1.39. There's 10 for £2.25. You know, very cheap. You're not going to have any problems replacing this. What, you know, if you're worried about this, you know, burning out, I think you probably get a year or so out of this. I'm just guessing, but if you're ever worried about the battery in here burning out, just buy 5 extra when you buy it. For the sake of an extra £1 or an extra $1, just buy a few extra batteries and just keep it in a drawer. So when this goes, you've got another one there and you can put it in. Now you can see how much smaller this is. I've not actually tested this yet. But you can see how it would go like this. And you would just assign it like that. And now you have this smaller package. Look how much smaller that is. Now, if you've got the Nintendo DS, that is what you would be wanting to do because it's smaller and it means it's not sticking out. But if you've got the Game Boy Advance, keep it in the larger one. It makes sense so that it can click in. But it's very, very simple to put it back. You can see the hole there. So the hole, I'm just going to turn it back round. Just align the hole up or do it like that. Do what I did. Right. After saying it's easy, I do that. Hold on a second. We can do this. There we go. So do that. Get it aligned upside down. You know, see when I was playing around with this before, that never happened. It's only when you start recording things go wrong. But as you can see, you know, I'm not cutting away to show me doing this and then spending an hour trying to figure this out. The hardest part is actually just getting the screws, you can see. It's very, very easy to do. Okay, there we go. Let's screw it in. So, screwed in. That's how easy it is to replace the battery. All that you had to do there was just pull the battery out and put in a new one. And as I said, guys, obviously this is brand new, so you know I can't test the battery, but I suspect it's going to be like a year. Depends on usage. Could be months if you're burning this up all the time. But my guess is most people will be a year. Could be much, much longer. So I have the original. And there we go. Now, sure, is that a little bit too bright? Okay. What I'm going to do for a second, because I'm looking at the screens, is turn down my lights so that you guys can see. I'll pull this back up so that you guys can see the screens okay. Okay, I didn't actually need to turn the lights down. I remembered that you can change the brightness by using the L and volume key. So I didn't need to do that. I'll just turn down the brightness. Okay, now let's address the first problem in the original. So the original is in the SP. We've got the new one in the micro. If I go down and I select English, battery is dry or first in. And that is the problem with the original Easy Flash 4. What happened with this was this battery was rechargeable and you had to actually play the game for the battery to charge. So you would play, for example, Zelda, and you would keep playing it. Now, over time, the battery would dry up. You know, the charge would go away. So if you're not playing it a lot, the battery would go dry. When it's dry, well, you can't save. So you can't save the memory. So that was a major problem with that. And that has been addressed in the new one because we now have a replaceable battery. We've got a battery that will just operate like a regular battery, and you don't have to worry about that. So that was one of the first problems. The other problem was software. Now you can see here SD version 1.77. I just turned this one on, and you can see there version 2.40. Now if I go down a little bit, hopefully you guys can see this a little bit better. I realize the lights are shining. Right, it's a little bit better. It's difficult because this has got the bright LCD screen. This is a little bit faded. It's difficult to try and get them both shown the right way. So if I jump over to my browser for a second, this is an installation guide that I did earlier this year, 24th of February, and I showed you how to install the Easy Flash. And as you can see here, you had to go through and you had to install software. What you had to do was patch all the games. You had to patch all the games, and then once they were patched, they went onto your, you patched them onto the SD card, and then you put them into your card, So essentially what you did was you took the microSD card, put it into your computer, you patched every game that you wanted, and then you put it back into the SD card and back into the cartridge. Now it wasn't difficult. It wasn't particularly difficult, but this doesn't need that. You plug it in and it's good to, you're good to go. All I did with this was drag and drop all my Game Boy Advance games, and then it just worked. I didn't have to patch any games. The reason I'll come to this in a second, but the reason I didn't have to patch any games is because it's all done in the software itself. And that threw me a little bit because it was a little bit slow at first. So if I go through, you can see the menu system and all that's the same. You've got English or Chinese. God damn, this is at an angle. Oh, there we go. Much better. I didn't realize it could go down so far. Okay, so now you can see it. Okay, see these folders? These aren't automatically generated. These are folders that I've set up myself on both systems. And the reason being, if I go down to, say, A, there isn't really a fast way going down. Now, that looks like quite fast. But when you've got A to Z and you're trying to find a game that's S or T, I found it very, very annoying. What I found is just easier to put all the games into folders, and I stick a few games under best games at the top, and I've got 0 to 9 as well. Now, see where it says patch? That that's the games that I've played already, and you'll see this just now. So these are the games I've put on already, just to try them. Now, when you haven't patched the game, it will load slower. So when I first put this on, I assumed that this was much slower than before, and I just assumed that that was a problem, and I emailed the Levitech. They've not actually come back to me at this point, but I figured that out in the meantime. I assumed that this was slower, the new version was slower, but it's not the case. Right, so if I go into, say I'll go into the C folder, hopefully, okay, CT Special Forces USA, is that the same one? Right, so I'm going to load the same game at the same time. Right, this will be quicker because the game is already patched. So look at that, up to 100%. That's it loaded. This one's still 20%. Now, the reason being, as I said, this has not been patched yet. So that is why it's taking so long. So if I'll come back out, you can see it was a lot longer there, wasn't it? So that was how long it took. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to go back in. I'm going to go back to the same game. Okay, fingers crossed this works the way it should. If not, I'll go to the patch folder. So we've got the same game there, same as before. And hopefully this one will be a lot quicker this time. So this is the reform. So that's still quick there, but you can see, I'd say that the older one still is a little bit quicker. I've noticed, I don't know if you noticed it there, but when I push the A button to load a game, it does seem that there's like a little second just before it loads up. I'd say that, you know, I'll do another test with a different game, but it does seem that briefly, you know, when you load it up, the original Easy Flash 4 does seem a little bit quicker. A little bit. So I'm going to load up Zelda. So load up Zelda, which hopefully is in the best games part. It should be A Link to the Past, right? So I'm going to push these at the exact same time. Let's try this. Did that? See, there's a little gap there. When it gets going, I think this is marginally quicker. I think if it wasn't for that little gap at the start, you know, that little break at the start, it would probably be loading roughly the same time. So, here, there's no save game. There is one here. Now, I have actually played this before, and I believe I've got a video of me playing it before. You can see this one where I put on today. I just put in my name just to make sure it was all saving okay. And yeah, it's saved okay. There's no problem. Now, if I had been using this a lot and playing it a lot, the battery in the SP would charge up the battery here that's in the cart. The cart that is there. But because this is, you know, sat on my shelf for a few months, I've not been playing it, the batteries went dead. And that's the problem because, you know, especially if you're older, you don't play these retro games all the time. You have less time. I generally grab my micro when I'm going on a bus journey, a train journey, or I'm going, you know, I'm flying somewhere. That is when I would grab the micro. So for me to grab this cart, you know, grab this cart, put it in my micro, I'd go traveling, I'd be like, oh, I can't play Legend of Zelda because the battery has died. And, you know, this was one of the biggest problems with the Easy Flash 4. So I'm not sure. This is, you guys might be able to tell me better. I don't know if there's a way to reset back to the main menu without powering off or not. I'm not sure. But yeah. So I'll just kind of focus more on the reform now. So go down, you should be able to see it better now. So when you first load it up, it's probably going to be in Chinese. But you just go to this second one, and so this is what it will look like when you first load it up. Okay, in fact, what we'll do is off and back on. So when you load it up, this is what you'll get. Goes down to here, select that one, select again, select, down to English, and then you can do it. Now, here this auto saver thing, I'm not sure. Oblige saving, auto saving. I've been changing it around. Maybe I've just not selected the right games, but I've been kind of changing between auto and oblige saving to see if there was a major difference. I'm not sure. I'm not sure at this point. If you guys know, let me know. You know, post a comment and I'll pin your comment so that everyone else can see it, or I'll add it to the description. So I assume this has got to do with this part here. But yeah, I mean, apart from that, this is saying version, was it 2.4? This was like 1.7 something. Apart from that, it works in the same way. If you go to the saver there, you can see that it's saved these games. Save Legend of Zelda. Now these ones, I think, because I had it under auto, so I think that's why those ones saved. So that's probably how it works. Legend of Zelda, I saved that manually. Now patch refers to the games that have been patched. As I said, when you've loaded up a game, it patches and then it's saved there, and it will load up quicker the next time. So if I just pick a random game, very random, there we go. So this is the first time, so this is going to be slow. This is going to be really, really slow, and it is. Look at that. Very, very slow. Whilst that's doing that, I'll just jump back over to the browser, and this is what the official sales page looks like. So there really isn't much to say about it, really, because everything just works. Before, when you had the Easy Flash 4, you had to download this kernel and yet to update it, but you also had to download the software to patch the games, and the official patch didn't really work that well. If I show you the description here, there was an official patcher, but I used an alternative ROM patcher. Now, the alternative ROM patcher was much better because it allowed you to do more games at a time. The original one, the official client, had a limitation, and that was a big problem. You know, it really made patching the games a pain, but with the alternative ROM patcher, it kind of saved it, and it made sure that this wasn't as bad as it could have been. Now, depending on the game, it does seem to be that depending on the game, it does change how long it takes to patch a game. This is it. This is in real time, guys. I'm not speeding it up. You can see that this is quite annoying. Now, I mean, it's not great, but that's the price you pay for not patching your games beforehand. You know, before, when you had the original, so with the original Easy Flash 4, with this one, what you had to do was put in the client, you had to patch all the games, and you had to go through it on your computer to do that. You don't need to do that, but you know, the downside of that is that you need to patch a game every time you play it for the first time. Now, that's a little bit annoying because, for example, as I said, if I'm on a bus, a lot of the time, yeah, sometimes I think I've picked a game that doesn't even work well. Okay, this ROM doesn't even looks like it's working after all that. As I said, when I play this on a flight, sometimes I will just want to play a game like Zelda or something. With that, I try and get the original game just because it's quicker and things like that. But there's a few other games I like, Rock and Roll Racing. There's a few other RPGs that I don't have the original cart for. And for those games, you know, if it's a save game, if it's a long game, I'll be playing them for a long time. But sometimes when you're tired, when you're not in the mood, or you just have 10 minutes or 15 minutes, I will jump around and I'll play one game, then I'll play another game, then I'll play another game, then I'll play another game. When you do it with this, when you're playing the game for the first time, well, you saw what happens. You have to patch it. But now that I've done that, you can see here, patch. Is that? You know, it's definitely the brightness is too bad there. You can see that Lego Star Wars game is now there because I've put it on before. So I'm not sure how it works, you know, as far as, I don't think it's just got to do with file size. I'm not sure why some games take longer to patch than others. I really don't know why, so I'm not going to jump to conclusions, but I'm just talking from experience. So when I got this, I put the microSD card into the adapter, put it into my PC, and what I did was copied all the ROMs that I had and just dropped it. I didn't put any folders, I didn't put anything. And like I said, what happens is you have A to Z of all these kind of games, and it becomes a real pain. There isn't any native game management system. You can't sort by name, by file size, by anything like that. You can't, you know, organize folders. You need to do that yourself. It's not a major hassle though. All I did, you know, it took about a couple of minutes, and I just put A, B, C, D, all the different folders, and assigned them to those folders. And then I've created one called Best Games. And what I did, you know, it's the same as what I did before with the Easy Flashes. If I found I was playing a game a lot, next time I was at the PC, I dragged and dropped it. I copied it so that it was in the original folder and the Best Games folder, and I kept it in the Best Games folder at all times, so that the games that I was playing a lot, I could just jump in there and put it on. I don't think I've actually played this one yet, so this is going to patch. So there's other games, obviously. There's a lot of games for this that I've not tested yet, and I don't want to do that when it's patching, but I will. Okay. So there are some games that, you know, just like any system, there's certain things that don't work. I put on those, was it Game Boy video things? Now, they don't seem to work. They didn't work in the original either, but it's no losses, like little cartoons and stuff. See them there, 32 gigabytes, Cartoon Network. I mean, I just copied and pasted, which is why they're all there. But why anyone would need that is beyond me. PS RAM is not enough, so that doesn't work there. we'll scroll down. So, what was it? Sure from Mother was there. So there's bound to be certain games here that don't work, but I haven't well, apart from that Lego one. God, what did I pick there? Chicken Chase. Yeah, that's going to load up, and it's a game I didn't want to even show you guys. I'll load up again. Yeah, so, okay, so final thoughts. I realise this has been a long video, but I wanted to show you guys that have this already what the main differences were, because I think that if you have a Game Boy Advance already, chances are you probably looked at this before, so I think it was important to look at the differences. If I just put on, let me see, what have I patched? Blades of Thunder. Okay, this game. Unknown. See, I've not seen that before. That's what's good that I've shown you that, but I'm not sure why that's come up. Unknown type, open or not. Yes, open. Okay, I've not seen that before. Don't know why it was doing that. So what was that? Blades of, probably one of the first ones. Okay, final thoughts. Okay, this is a marked improvement. I've always been a big fan of this, and yes, I don't want to get into the argument of which is better. You know, if you've got the original cart and it's a favourite game, play with the original cart. But if you're going somewhere and you want hundreds and hundreds of games in your back pocket, then you're not going to be taking a big bag of carts with you. Just doesn't make any sense. £21 or £20.99 UK. You could put, well, this is the older version, but you could put this in your pocket and you can play as many games as you want. You've got your whole Game Boy Advance catalogue here. Now, there are other people that are putting like NES games and Sega Master System, Sega Mega Drive games, etc. on this as well, but it's not something I've got experience with. I've just kind of focused mainly on Game Boy Advance. In fact, I noticed this earlier on with this game. This seems to, see when you push the select and start with this one, like it flashes it. Not sure why it's doing that. But what I'm going to do is test it here, and we'll see if this was a problem with the ROM or whether it's a problem. Seems to be only when you push start. Yeah, we'll see if it's a problem with the ROM or whether it's, you know, a problem with the cart. That was another problem. I don't know if you saw that there. See, with the other one, you really had to push it in really hard sometimes to get it to work. If it didn't connect well, sometimes, you know, the cart wouldn't load up if you didn't connect well. So this is saying start. Right, okay. Seems to be playing okay, but I just know that if I push that start button, it's going to... What was that called? Banjo... Start. Yep. Now, for whatever reason, if you push any buttons there, apart from A and B, it flashes it. I think that's the problem with the ROM. I really do, because I didn't have that problem with any other game. And this is the problem with emulation. Yeah, we're not getting it there. Like, select start, L and R. So this could be a problem with the Easy Flash 4 Reform. Yeah, definitely looks like that's a problem, because like start buttons there are working. So I found a game there that didn't work. Obviously I don't have the time to go through every game in the catalogue, but I mean, you do find that with the emulation. Some games will work well, some games will not. If there are certain games that don't work, then what I would say is this is the first version. There's bound to be patches. This is version 2.04. Yeah, 2.0. I thought it was 2. Sorry, I said 2.4 earlier. This is version 2.04, and I have no doubt that there will be future versions of this in the firmware. This is just out, and I imagine, you know, certain games might not work as well as they did originally, but I imagine they'll patch that once they get some feedback. So yeah, I think that's good that I actually found that, because I just assumed that every game was working the same way as before. So yeah, there you go, guys. This is it. This is the... I'll bring you down a little bit closer again. This has been the Easy Flash 4. Again, when it's on Chinese, just go to this second icon and just select the top one, and you'll change it. So second item there from the bottom, go down, select English, and you're good to go. And yeah, just do your folders in your computer. You don't do it on here. Very, very easy. I've got a 16GB card in this, but really I think 8GB probably would have been enough. I put in, you know, as you saw, all those cartoons and stuff, because I just copied and pasted. But I think an 8GB would be okay. You wouldn't have to really delete many games. It's good to have a little bit extra room, obviously, for saves and things like that. But yeah, I think most people would be okay with 8GB. But don't, you know, obviously that's for Game Boy Advance. If you want to start putting on NES games, Sega Master System games, Mega Drive games, not something I've got experience with, but if you want to do that, you would obviously need more storage. So guys, this has been the Easy Flash 4 Reform. This was the original, still is. This is the Easy Flash 4 Reform, and that's what the other one used to look like. As you can see, it is a lot smaller now. So many, many thanks to Levitech Retail. I really do appreciate you guys sending that out. Much appreciated. I really do appreciate you guys doing that. It's been great testing it out, and I'll leave a link below to the sales page. I'm sure there's other people selling this around the world, so you know, you might want to order from somewhere else, but I can speak from experience that anyone in the UK is going to be guaranteed to get good service from these guys. Their support is fantastic. And you know, if you're in Europe or even the States as well, if you want a reliable, you know what, you want the right thing, you want the reliable Easy Flash 4 cart, maybe you want to just import it from those guys in the UK, Levitech Retail, because there are a lot of dodgy sellers out there, and there's a lot of them that don't do testing and things like that. They did send me a version before that didn't work, and within a few days they'd sent me a replacement. That's, you know, I can't speak highly enough of them because of that. Thanks for watching, guys. I've tried my best to cover everything that I know about this already, but without a doubt, if you're watching this 6 months, 9 months down the line, there is a chance that I've found out some other things about this. There might have been updates to address any of the problems that I've shown you in this, so please do bear that in mind. But if I find out any more information, I will put it down in the description area. If I find out anything, if there's any good comments, I will make a note of it in the description area and pin the comments as well. So if you get any questions about this, if you get any help, any feedback, any way of helping any fellow gamers, leave a comment below, guys. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.